I'll do it. Fuck it, I'll do it.
Go on.
Let's go.
Whew, you're gonna like this one. I think it's gonna trigger multiple people, and I'm probably gonna.
What, in this call? You
end
mean
up
just
again.
in the general? Us specifically.
In general, I mean you maybe, and then some. I mean, bunch of other people as well. I'm gonna expect like.
I'm trying to think which one of the players I
again.
think's really good. It turns out is actually a fraud. Also, he's gonna do to one of my favorite. But I jokingly facetiously did to him at the opening of the show. So okay, which one? Go on. Who is it? Who is it? Dexter or something? Who is it? Hit me with it. Come on. Who is it?
No.
Who is it?
Donk is not a top 5 player right now.
Oh,
It's such a bad take. I know it's.
Get the
That might. By the way, I just
What?
want to. I know that events go by quickly in people's minds, but guys, we're still at the still event that he like broke the record ever for like all those kills, like 50 plus or whatever. But, okay, no. Here's the thing though. Technically, we are overreacting. I've got to actually listen. Are you ready, Mouty? I've got to do my due diligence and hear the reasons. So I'll just sit calmly down. Just get ready. I'm ready. Hit me with it. Come on. Explain to. There's 2 obvious problems here. One, I feel like Kassan. Here's what scares me. I'm also so scared, Maui, that I can immediately ruin the segment by asking him which 5 players are better. But I've done that before, and I'm so. He's prepared this time. Oh my god! Wow. Okay. Right. Hit us with the 5 first. Who are the 5 that are better? Come on.
Nico.
Okay.
Number 1.
Even that's debatable right out the gate, but okay, we'll take that. We'll take that for now. Zivu, okay, we can have that. Yeah,
number 2.
That's good.
You're gonna like this one.
Gel.
Bit.
I knew it was going to be one of them. Okay, it's Bit. Okay, Bit's better. By the way, it's already enough that Bit's good. The Andy's better than Donk. So, okay, thing is, hold. We can't overreact though. We've got 3 so far. By the way, what scares me as well is there's only 2 left, and m0nesy can only be one of them. So go and hit me with it. Who are the other 2?
Oh,
Frozen, like he is baiting the fuck out of me right now. I can't handle it.
I love Frozen, but no.
Is the 5th one m0nesy?
Yes. No,
Okay.
it's not m0nesy.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Maui, it's a worse take. Donk and m0nesy not only aren't even top, they aren't even top 5. Elise is better than both, right?
No!
This is the craziest take ever on this show.
Reddit was right. Reddit was right about Kassan the whole time. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about the game.
So someone make an actual that's Trademaster meme of him like, I offer you Prime Donk for Frozen. Like, okay. I take deal. Okay. Well, who's the 6th one? Are you going to say there's another one? Go on. Gel is better than Donk. Are you
Listen. The key word here in this fucking hot take is right now.
No.
You mean like right today, this second? Or so? In what context do you mean right now? I know.
This fucking period right now. Like in this part of the this season. Let's put it like that.
It's so bonkers, isn't it? I know. I love it.
It's right. I'm right.
All right, is there any
hit
us with some more reasoning? We're talking about stats, eye tests. What are we going off here? What's making you think this?
For me, like, there is a lot of things, right? Obviously, the stats are one of them. Right now, he breaks the records and everything. But you saw what happened, like, right now, 2 days ago, yesterday. When was the game against whoever it was? Navi. That's Navi for you. That's players like Bit, JL, who dominated him all over the server. This very day.
Definitely wasn't a great series for Donk. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but that was not the greatest series for Donk, and then we can name more few not so great series for Donk, right?
I mean, he was literally like the number 1 rated player at the tournament before that match, by the way. He had like a 1.5 rating or something.
Before that match, does that matter? After that match? No, I don't think so. So if you are if you're a top 5 player right now, you need to be delivering, yes?
I don't know about that. I don't know.
On the fucking important matches. That's why it's called hot take. What do you mean?
No, listen. I'll absolutely acknowledge it's a hot take. I'll give you that much. But what I also can't comprehend though is like I can sort of see the angle he's going with now. He's essentially going off the match we all just saw, so it is an ultimate hot take. Like obviously all those Marvy players did bash Spirit, right? But what I don't get is like why does Elise get to be in there because of that? And Frozen, you know, like these guys got sent home ages ago. What are we talking about? Like why do they get in there? Are they just in there to trigger us? Like, why are I could even maybe grant. Like, listen, I think nonsense. Like, there's no universe where the Bit eye test checks out over Donk. But even if I take that premise, why are Elise and Frozen in there though? Why do they get to be in there?
I think it's like Frozen. I used to think before he joined FaZe, he was a on and off kind of player, right? That 3 months good, 3 months bad, 3 months good, 3 months bad. And he joined FaZe after that, and I think he was way more consistent.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair
he's
enough.
He is a key figure in that team, even despite their troubles and whatever. They even on practices they didn't look like super coordinated team. He's still on top of it. He's still the main player and the main piece in that team. For me, he's one of the top players right now. Right now.
All right, let me ask you. I've got another follow-up.
This year, last year, in the last 12 months, right now, that's like the top 5 players for me.
I've got another follow-up, which goes like this. Is there a specific period at which donk exits your elite group and then these people overtake him? Is it really recently? Is it the last 2 weeks? Is it last what is it?
No, it's more of a this season kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, that's the reasoning. I'm not saying, listen, donk is like one in a generation type of thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not denying that.
What puzzles me though is like most people, Kazad, would do the opposite take. Like, isn't m0nesy's take like that? Donk has to be like cracked out the absolute best to even like marginally get Spirit a win. Like,
but he wasn't.
Most people go the other way.
His tweet was like, if donk is like below 105, they're not making it to the major.
Probably true,
like, which is absolutely 100% true.
Yeah.
And he dropped 0.98 on this matchup today against Navi. That matchup can repeat in fucking 2-2 bracket or whatever the fuck it is happening right there. Because like, despite what people think, the tier 2 seed, tier 1.5, it's a fucking grind. It's difficult to play against those things. It's not a joke at all. Like, you saw what, like, for example, even this like weaker teams like 9Z, MIBR beat Spirit straight up in a best of 3. Like, what are we talking about? Are we saying that somebody in Europe like Saw or like teams like that cannot do the same thing? I think they can. And it depends on donk if they're going to make it through them or not. Because nobody else, maybe Shiro to some degree, but nobody else will provide any impact. One of my hot takes was supposed to be that Zontix went from the best anchor to the worst anchor in about 2 months. In the fucking top 10 teams. Because the person, that kid was like so good.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden he just went AFK. He's just full AFK. He doesn't participate in anything. So they cannot get anything from him. Chopper is the IGL. He has his limits. Magix is similar to Zontix, maybe even worse right now, this season, this 2024 year. And who do they have left? Shiro? That needs to be like super fucking bonkers, right? 135, 140 rating with his defensive player style. And if the other people are not delivering and not putting him in a position to get those numbers and donk is not popping off, what's going to happen to Spirit? So we are relying the whole premise of Spirit around donk. Because like, if you see Vitality, you have Spinks, right? You have even Flames. m0nesy is like, yeah, he can pop off here and there. And then if those are the 3 players, if Zaivu is below 105 or around 105.
I've got a question for you, because one thing that's weird about this take is it's morphed from like donk into like something weird about Spirit in general as a team. Like, one thing I can't quite place is your general like rating. No, but your general rating of Shiro seems to have him so fucking low. Like, he doesn't seem like the player I'm watching in the server, mate. Like, put it this way.
Next hot take.
Do you think that? All right, fair enough. We'll save that one then. But I think, like, what I can't get about that is there's only about fucking 4 AWPers I even give a fuck about, and he's one of them. So I don't even really get where this take is bulky. All right, m0nesy, what are your thoughts?
You fucked my hot take. My hot take. I was gonna say.
We'll go to that. We'll go to it.
Listen, I'm just saying it, and I'll just use another one.
Go on.
That Shiro is number 4 AWPer in the world right now.
Fucking hell.
Okay. Number 4.
Right, go on then. Who are the other 3?
m0nesy, Zaivu, wonderful.
Ooh.
He's wonderful.
I was gonna take a take similar to this one actually. I was gonna put him 5th.
He was for me. He's 4th because I don't know who would I put like. Who would be the 4th? Like, because I really didn't have a 4th guy. So I
have a hot take, but I can't. I want to respond to the
take
before I get into my hot takes.
Go.
All right, first thing, to say donk is not top 5 is just absurd. It's been a while since we recorded one of these, and I thought that we could have a fake honeymoon like G2 is having right now, coming back into this, but I felt like walking away. I felt like walking away completely from the show. That's too far. That's just crazy. I said some ridiculous stuff on this show, but to say donk's not a top 5 player right now, it's a 3-horse race for number 1 in the world, and you could have your reason for who's number 1, 2, or 3. I don't even really care about the order as long as you have good reasoning behind it. But to say he's not top 5, I love Frozen. I think Frozen's
Maui.
fantastic. But I don't. He's not better than Donk. Alicia is not better than Donk.
Maui, I didn't say 2024 as a whole. I said at this part of the season right now, if you look at the current form of the players.
Okay.
I didn't mean the 2024. He's going to finish number 1 or number 2 in 2024 regardless. But right now, these players are better in a better form. They're better right now.
And Wycadia is better form than K Serrato right now. Okay, I've heard this one before.
Oh, don't worry, I have a hot take for the Brazilian fans too.
Okay. No, Donk is still, the thing is that Donk is still got the weight of Spirit bearing on him every single game. Did you see the calling from Spirit against Na'Vi today? Like, it's Donk running through a brick wall or the team immediately crumbles. He's swinging off Cat first. He's swinging out of tunnels first with no nades. There's no nades, and he's swinging out of B tunnels into a crossfire between Bit and JL, and he's supposed to somehow do anything there. Chopper is sending him to his death every single round.
Do something against 2 top 5 players in the room.
Okay. He's
sending him. That was actually not bad. Fair play. We'll give him that one. That was well executed. Okay.
Right. He's sending him to his death every single round, and there's only so much he can do, and that's why when Donk is carrying Spirit's sorry asses even to this far into the playoffs, that's already the Herculean effort that we're getting out of him, and he's taking Spirit farther than Alicia's taking Complexity, farther than Frozen's taking FaZe, and he has to do so much more than even those guys do. So no, I just don't agree at all with this one. You could say that if you wanted a hot take, you could even have said he's third and m0nesy and ZywOo's ahead of him. That could have been a hot take already. To say he's not even in the top 5, it's too far gone. It's too far. You've lost the plot.
Right now, Maui. Right now.
The saying that doesn't somehow change. I know.
No.
He keep avoiding that.
No. He carried them to this far in the tournament. He had to hard carry them with like a 1.5 rating. It's like he's putting up another Katowice performance to even get him to the quarterfinals of Pro League. Like, he's doing so much. He's doing so much.
No,
Magic's, Chomper, and Zontics are such a weirdly weak
What's funny is
sometimes.
this could potentially give you ground for your later Shiro take, which is before, if you'd have asked me in the first season before the player break, I would have said Shiro was one of the best sort of like second option, like sidekick stars in the game. I do think he hasn't been as effective. So actually, if anything, I'll give you that to say that I actually grew him out. I think Donk has to do more than any of those players. Like, the joke is, before this, first of all, ZywOo has the history of like, he has to 1v9. Yeah, that hasn't been since fucking 2022. Please shut up about that take. Like, that take is ass, bro. Like, yeah, he's had Spinks ever since fucking like the player breaker 2022, guys. Like, he's had help forever. That's never been the case. m0nesy, you could argue, when they had the Huxley Nexa lineup, had to mega hard carry. I think of all of them, actually, of all the candidates, it's Donk that has to do the most now. Remember, when everyone does forget that when he did that insane wildcard series, they barely won, even though it was the craziest like individual farm session you'll ever see. Then right after that, remember, he played MIBR, who, by the way, is in the semi-final of this tournament, and he had to like 30 bomb just to barely win them that fucking last map too. Like, this guy has to do so much in this team. I'll even say, if anyone saw Bet Boom, bro, there's a game where they beat Mousebots in the upper bracket final of Bet Boom, where like Yimpak keeps winning these 1vx's on Ancient, right? And what's mad is the reason why it's so impressive that he wins the 1vx's and Mouse keeps winning the rounds and almost gets back in the game and goes to the third map, it's because Donk's just like running out in the beginning of the round and just doing like a pure 2k onto 2 people with full rifles and just getting you like a 5v4 or 5v3 every single time. And I remember just thinking, like, bro, any great team in history could never lose these rounds, like being 5v3 with a superstar. So I don't get it. I don't even get I genuinely, look, even though he actually had a couple of tournaments, no, not even tournaments, a couple of matches where his numbers were off. I also don't get it because, bro, even this last like 3 months, are some of the not literally, Kassad, are some of the greatest statistical tournaments any rifler has ever had in Counter-Strike. Like, I don't know if you know this, mate, but at that Bet Boom tournament, he averaged 1.0 kills per round. At this Pro League, with like some insane amount, like, let me have a look how much it was. Okay, at this Pro League, he played fucking 17 maps and he finished with 0.95 KPR. Like, that is impossible, bro. Like, that, like, unironically, that would already be like one of the best lands anyone's ever played in the history of Counter-Strike. So, what I'm confused by is, if you want to pick a specific match, Kassad, like, you were obviously focusing on the Na'Vi match and the fact that to you, the Riflers of Na'Vi or whatever, like, matched him or best. In an individual one-off match, I could maybe give you it. But I'm actually puzzled puzzled as to why you keep saying right now was all like this recent. Like, you make it sound like before the break he did all that, and he's sort of being carried by, like, if we aggregate his stats or something. Like, what do you think's not impressive about him now, like?
What do I think is not impressive?
Yeah, what's not impressing you now? Like, is he lacking something, or you think he's had too many bad games or something? What's putting you off him? Or maybe what for the others? Like, there's the other thing. By the way, I didn't even do anything about the other players. I don't get the list either, bro. Like, what's funny is the other two in the race I could give you, like Zero is unbelievable right now. By the way, m0nesy actually he doesn't have to do as much as he used to, but he's still mega. Like, you think of that the series they lost in bloody Cologne, he was giga carrying them. They just couldn't win the match. But if I do the other four riflers, because that's the worst thing is the fact that they're all riflers, bro. If these were AWPers and they had some sneaky angle. Fair enough, but like Elige, I love Elige. I'm probably the most biased Elige fan of all time. He does have to mega carry Call, but actually that's not even that good a take now, because if anything, this might be the one tournament ever when Call actually turned up and bloody helped him. He even had the odd game where he didn't have to giga carry. So the Elige one I don't get. The Frozen one, to me, I told everyone, he is a very good player, but man alive, it's like the HLTV rating was designed to make him look better than he is. Like, he's slightly boosted. There's nothing wrong with him, by the way. He might be like the 8th best player in the world, but I don't buy that he's top 5 personally. The bit one, look, for the bit one, you'd have to go like an Austin CS angle of sort of like, you know, what he's doing cerebrally, or like look at this like genius. If I just look purely at the crosshair and I put them into a CSDM match or something, like Donk would fucking eat Bit's lunch. And by the way, that's saying a lot, because I think Bit probably has like top 5 aim in the fucking game himself, but he ain't Donk, mate. Like, the joke is, if Bit woke up, and this was one of those movies from the 80s, and he found out that Bit and Donk had their souls transplanted in the other person's body, I'll tell you what, it's fucking Bit that's happier than Donk. I'm telling you right now, mate. Like, that's that one. And then the last one's JL. Listen, all the best will in the world for all the clutches JL's won, all the big maps. He ain't Donk, for fuck's sake, mate. Because the other thing is as well, mate, of all these players, he's also the only one who's the entry rifler. Like, he's got better stats and I think a better eye test than all these players. And half of these players come in for the clutch. I guess Elige's like a playmaker entry guy, but most of these are like middle of the pack. They're lurky. I don't get it myself. So have you got some more? Have you got some more reasons?
Frozen is not middle of the pack. He's not lurky. He is a pure on aggressive player. That's number one. He is. Frozen is. He was in Mouse.
On CT, he's one of the biggest betas of all time.
Right now, I mean, beta of all.
He's a massive beta as Frozen.
I feel like I was fighting for Frozen in this way 6 months ago, and you weren't on board.
The biggest beta of all time on CT.
He's baity as fuck, mate. Of all time's hyperbole, but he's pretty big.
Rops is more baity but Frozen is like, he'll let Rain and Kerrigan go in. He just knows when to call his number a lot better.
Frozen will let Rain go in because that's part of their system. Like, Rain is the type of player who holds W until he reaches someone on the opposite team. That's what he does. Like, you can see his game, he doesn't never crouch, stand, or whatever. Right. But, like, Frozen is playing off that. Like, you have, in Spirit, you have Donk. Yes, he's aggressive, Duncan. He is. But you have Zontix, and you have Magix, and you have Shiro, all defensive players. All of them.
Sure.
So he's forced to do that. He has to do that. And yet, still, we are talking about the... He entered Pro CS this year, right, Donk? I mean...
Technically played a little bit at the end of last year, but obviously not like the tier 1.
Like
Sure.
Tier 1, like,
yeah, just bet boom type shit. Yeah, of course.
And he's going to be the number 1 or number 2.
Yeah, seems
probably,
like it.
Right?
Yeah.
There is no question about it. Right now, this season, like you said it yourself, there is these games where he drops off, where he doesn't do the donk thing, and as soon as that happens, Spirit loses to MIBR in a best of 3. Spirit loses like they did today against Navi. Who was dominating in Navi? JL. And that for me is what's putting JL in front of Donk right now. Maybe like people see all these headshots, all these numbers, crazy stats right now. They see it and they will put Donk, but based on the numbers and all the obviously achievements from Spirit this year overall. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have maybe one more bad boom winning or whatever if they play Rio or something. I don't know. The thing is, like, maybe they win that, they're gonna say at the end of the year, yeah, Spirit was the top 1 team. Yeah. And Donk was gonna be the number 1. But right now, after the second season started, and they had, what did they have? Bad Cologne, if I remember?
They had a terrible Cologne, last place.
Terrible Cologne. They got, like, destroyed by everyone. Donk was below
Sure, that was one of the few
player right now it happened again, like, obviously, just in the quarterfinals, even though he had a good bad boom and he had a decent pro league. But for me, these players now are having more impact and better overall.
Here's the funniest thing. I can totally take, like, look, we can have a subjective eye test. You can disagree. But what I can't handle is you going like, he had a decent pro league. I'll just say it again. He had over 17 maps. He had 0.95 KPR and 0.64 deaths per round as an aggressive engine. Like, the idea that's decent is like all words are just getting warped out of all meaning. The reason I'm so confused.
All right.
Go on.
Excellent pro league.
All right.
Let's say it like
well, I want to ask
Excellent.
Maui this question. Here's what confuses me, Maui. He's simultaneously like denying stats and the eye test. It's like, I actually genuinely can't figure out, like, aside from the fact, look, it's a really good, edgy hot take, but I actually can't figure out what he's basing it on aside from just this Na'Vi game we just watched. Like, I'm actually mildly confused by this take in general. I don't get it.
He's trying to devalue Donk's stock on the trade market so Bleed can get it.
Okay, right. Yeah.
There is not that much money in the world that would make Donk come there.
No, but to be fair, that actually is one of the few angles you could use to fix the whole thing. Because then what you do is when Donk has a tournament like Cologne, and then all those HLTV people, Donk fans come here, and then like, he's washed and was never good anyway, then we'll just sign him to Bleed. When he then just runs through tier 2 doing like 2.0 KPR every tournament, then we can be like, you can't just say it's Donk. You said he was washed because I taught him how to be good again. And then that's our angle as to how we'll get you back. There you go.
Yeah, let me just get 5 million and just like buy him.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.